You're welcome to another exciting episode of Poly TV Inspire Review and Analysis on the darling station, Poly TV Laro. And I'm your host, Samuel Olanio. And I'm being joined in the studio by our newspaper and news and current affairs analyst, Mr. Simon Fakeye. He's also the publisher of Results Magazine. Welcome to the program, sir.
It's my pleasure.
And also, let me say happy belated Father's Day to you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's get straight to it. We have quite a number of newspaper with us this day. Let's start with the Vanguard newspaper. On the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, concerning the Oyo school kidnap, it says troops block escape route as terrorists reduce demand. Also, kidnap kingpin, indigene of Orire local government, radicalized by Ansaru group. And please, Igboho clash over release of kidnapped victims. So, in Oyo State, a lot is happening concerning the security architecture of the state. The state governor, Seyi Makinde, seems not to be on the same page with the Yoruba activist Sunday Igboho. And the last time we were told that he already got the license of the federal government to secure the release of the children. But as it stands, it seems the state governor is probably wanting to take charge, being the chief security officer of the state, and then not wanting such. What do you think might be the way forward, looking at the Oyo State security issues concerning the kidnapped children, and also the recent one that we saw also in the village of Sunday Igboho?
Thank you. I think the questions is in two phases. The first one is the headline that says troops are closing on the kidnappers. Yes, they are blocking the escape routes. Well, that sounds contradictory because closing on them, yes, but it says further that their demand has been reduced from what to what. Because the latest that the government posted was that they wanted ₦1 billion, they want to Islamalize this and all of that. But later, the principal came out again to say that no, they did not ask for such thing. They did not demand such. That all they wanted was their colleagues in prison to be released. So is the headline saying they are not saying that again, or that the number of their colleagues have been reduced? Maybe they've given a number before. So that's why I said it is contradictory. So all we know from the horse's mouth, I mean the principal, that woman, when she spoke from the where she was heard, was that the only thing they wanted is that their colleagues in prison should be released. So that is that. Then on the issue of the government and Sunday Igboho and all of that, well, I think the whole thing is not about whether the state governor is putting himself in charge of the whole situation or is on top of the situation. Yes, the governor have been saying all these days that he's in charge and he will ensure that the children and the teachers return safely. So, but on his position with Sunday Igboho, I think the problem lies with what I will refer to as conflict of interest. The governor is aspiring to contest for the position of the president of Nigeria comes 2024 presidential election, and Sunday Igboho is claiming that he's ready to fight with anyone who is blocking President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go for his second term. And he needs the approval of the governor, who also is a governorship candidate, presidential candidate, for him to go ahead with. So I don't see it happening because the governor will not want to empower his enemy. Yes, because Sunday Igboho has positioned himself as Governor Makinde's enemy. He wants to block his
Ambition,
aspiration,
aspiration.
his ambition to become the president of Nigeria. So I mean that is where the stake is. So maybe Yoruba leaders and elders will have to come around, call the two of them into a roundtable discussion so that national interests will prevail. Maybe Governor Makinde should be made to come to realization that, look, this is the chances. This is what is obtainable for Nigeria to move forward, for Yoruba nation. Let me quote the president himself, to move forward. So do you have all that is needed to win the election? If not, allow Sunday Igboho. Because the more the delay, the more damaging it becomes for our democratic fabrics and for the sustainability of the Yorubaness, let me use that word, of all of us. So again, Governor Makinde should come to terms with reality. Whatever is politics in the whole game should be set aside for unity and continuity of these democratic dividends to continue. Then for Sunday Igboho, maybe it should be also one to leave aside whatever he regards as political ambition. This is security. Let's face it. So I think President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is powerful enough to defend himself, powerful enough to win the election. So the lives, the souls of those in captivity are more important than political game either of Governor Makinde or President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
All right, thank you for that wonderful insight into the security issue in Oyo State. Let's really move to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, insecurity to top agenda as senators reconvene tomorrow. Akpabio, Oshiomole's field may deepen. Ex-Edo governor not a reason for reconvening. That's coming from the Senate spokesman. Lawmakers free to move motions on any subject. It seems the 2027 election and then also the race to occupy key positions at the 11th Senate seems to be taking a very full switch. Some times ago, we saw how the senators, how they had to retract the earlier motion that was moved concerning who is to occupy positions at the 11th Senate. But a lot of people are beginning to say that that former governor of Edo State, Oshomole, might probably be eyeing the seat of the Senate presidency. But do you think these chances of him emerging or Akpabio retaining that position? And also, at this point when we have security issues in the country, do you think jostling for position ahead of 11th Senate should be top on the agenda at the Senate?
Again, this is a multifaceted question.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm aware that there are two issues that create this rift between them. The first one was what you mentioned about the positioning, yeah, as in the offices rather. Yes. The second one is that of the NNPC. I think there are three. The third one is that of Natasha.
Yes.
Yeah, her suspension, where the former governor maintained that three of the signatories were forged. So, to me, it's now about two against one in terms of the issues raised. The first one that has to do with who becomes the next Senate president. Yeah, I can say that is personal. That of the NNPC, it takes national thing, okay? And the third one also, suspension of one of them. So now, generally, we can see that in the issue of the NNPC has failed to give a clear, transparent explanation about the 210 trillion naira.
Hmm.
The MD, former MD Kyari, has maintained that no, it wasn't about embezzlement, but auditing problem, accountability problem. And former governor insisted that, look, you have to come around and explain this. Show us where everything is tabulated clearly. So he was not happy, according to, I mean, allegedly, that the senator, the Senate president, was a bit preventing or creating a kind of shield for the former MD to appear before the committee. The former governor now said one of Akpabio's children gained employment into NNPC through the back door.
Hmm.
Could that be the reason why the Senate president has not been allowing the Oshomole-led committee to do their job about the 210 trillion naira? Okay, that is national thing. And thirdly, why was the need for the forgery of 3 signatories that suspended the senator Akpoti Natasha? So, in all of this, I think my suggestion is that we should, and leaders, stakeholders, decision makers should prevail on the both parties. The Senate president to please prioritize national interest. Former Governor Akpabio, Senator Akpabio now should also prioritize national interest. So whatever is personal to them should be set aside so that serious issues could be attended to and settled. One, the issue of the 210 trillion naira on the part of the former MD NNPC Kyari. Then the backdoor employment of Senate President's daughter, which to me is prevalent. Many backdoors employments have took place in most of the, let me refer to this as blue chip ministries of Nigeria. Then the third one is the forgery of signatures. And I think it's becoming a trend, meaning that whatever the Senate or the National Assembly wanted or wants to be done, they are now trading. Yeah, they now want it by fire or by force, which is not democratic enough. So fairness should be allowed to play out. So, in brief, both parties should be one to put national interest first.
All right, both parties are being warned by analyst Mr. Simon Fakeye to put national interest as their priority. I'm putting to the wall of the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper. It's two stories is relating to elections, and the first here says Ekiti governorship poll. Tinubu hails Oyebanji as ADC PDP reject results, and also still on the front page of the Punch. By-elections, APC sweeps Nasarawa, Enugu, Kano, Ondo, PDP holds Rivers State. It seems we are having more like a test, a litmus test of what is going to happen in 2027 elections. And so far, despite the, should I say, the unpopularity of the president in terms of what's happening, security and what have you, it seems APC still holds their grips in certain states. We saw what happened in the by-elections that happened, the senatorial elections, and also House of Rep that took place in Nasarawa State, Enugu, Kano, and Ondo. APC swept all, as well as the Ekiti State governorship poll, where we saw the Oyebanji, the current governor, reemerging as the candidates. Do you think this is a good pointer to what we expect to happen in 2027?
Okay, I will explain in 2 ways. As you said, yes, it is a good pointer for the ruling party to see themselves winning the coming election. We've discussed it here there's no alternatives to it. Going by what really happened, you can see that in Ekiti is about was it 300 plus to 40,000.
Oh, yes.
So it's just so bad, but it's not unexpected because the opposition has been fragmented. I think about 13 other political parties contested against the ruling party. So that will bring me to the second response, that the election shows the level of people or politicians we have in this country with unstable mindset. Yeah, it tells me that Nigeria is facing a serious challenge in terms of leadership, because the leaders of the opposition are also leaders in their own rights, and who have in years past have presented themselves as leaders. But now, how have they been reasoning that they can split it into 13 and expect to win the election against a formidable ruling party? So it tells me also that election is about politicians, not about Nigerian masses. Yes, when you look at the figure and the potential voters, about a million electorate, but about 400,000 went out to vote. And about that, you have about 3 plus for the ruling party, which I believe they are party members. They are APC members. Then the remaining 40,000 was PDP, remaining PDP members. And so maybe the voting party or whatever they refer to it, Nigeria government has to do more by convincing people to go out to vote, because it goes a long way in determining who leads your territory, who leads your community, who leads your state and the nation at large.
All right, congratulations to all the winners of the poll that took place on Saturday. Big congratulations to them. And that'll be all on Poly TV Newspaper Review and Analysis. Thanks for watching. Mr. Sam Fakir, thanks for coming on the program today. I remain Samuel Lanion. Bye for now.